This week, obviously everyone has been seeing a lot about Young Thug all the time, a legend, free thug. We decided to go back and listen to Barter 6.
Yup.
So we're revisiting that album. I got some questions to ask you guys. And then we'll also just have kind of like an open discussion about the album. But I kind of wanted to start with
I feel like this is like class, you know what I mean? Like it's like, all right, guys, I hope everyone read the book this week.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So Barter 6, revisiting Barter 6. How good was this album? How has it aged? It's almost 10-year anniversary. Like, how are you feeling about the album?
I mean, I think it's always been regarded as Young Thug's most notable, probably critically acclaimed body of work. I think that everyone's always said, like, when you get into Young Thug music, you should listen to this first. And I took it for granted. I think that I've always enjoyed it. You know what I mean? The slaps off this are obviously like, you know them, you know what I mean? Check, halftime, all that shit. But going back this past week really, really made me realize like, oh, nah, this is like one of them ones.
Yeah.
Like not just in his discography, but like rap music history type shit.
Yeah. And you think it definitely has stood the test of time?
Yeah, it's got better.
Yeah. Osei?
It's gotten better because he literally changed language and like the flow of hip hop with this project.
Yeah.
And obviously Check is a standout, you know what I mean? But bro managed to make a Duke song sound good. That song with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, bro, this guy Duke is terrible. You know what I'm saying? My bad. I
Duke gonna beat you up.
Used to be part of the operation, my fault. But yeah, no, that song is terrible. Or sorry, Duke is terrible.
Osei hates the album.
And even he has an amazing Jaquise feature on there too.
Yep.
Literally called Amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, this album has aged so well, and I feel like it could be released in 2024 and be album of the year.
100%.
Yeah. This was like when Young Thug really became Young Thug. You know what I mean? Like I think before this he had a couple slaps out. He had Lifetime out. He had 2 bitches out, Stoner out. But no project had connected on this level. It had been more like mixtape, dope shit, but like nothing that had gotten a Pitchfork review. Nonetheless, like an 8.5 or whatever it got. You know?
And it's difficult with Thug because if we're being real and we look at his past projects, like he doesn't have a lot of strong ones. I think his strongest ones are Slime Season 3, so much fun. But like even like when you look at like Punk, I guess Slime and B is a great project to be honest.
Okay, first
Calling
of all,
that a great project is insane.
Osei,
What?
all the Slime seasons are fire. 1, 2, and 3.
But 3 is the best.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I agree with you.
And
100%.
four is good too.
Yeah. I'm up. Fire.
I love him.
Fire. What?
I don't know if he's like a great project artist. I guess Beautiful Thugger
I mean,
Girls too.
you guys aren't even talking about my favorite project. Like I don't know, like
Beautiful Thugger Girls.
Yeah, and Jeffrey. Those two are probably my favorite 2 projects.
Jeffrey is an amazing project.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
Yeah, this nigga's definitely. But I think that that's the thing with Young Thug. And I think that he was part of a really pivotal point in music because we're coming out of the Wayne mixtape era. And like he was part of the streaming come up and all of that. But I think he was still treating things like they were mixtapes released back when he was younger. You know what I mean? So he's always flooded the market.
Yeah.
So I think it was easy to kind of take things for granted and take projects for granted. Even if I'm grabbing 3, 4, 5 songs off him, you know what I mean? It just felt like, oh, this is more Young Thug music. You know what I mean? Like I think when I go listen to Young Thug, it's not always to listen to an album. It's just to listen to him.
Well, why do you think So Much Fun felt like a bigger moment than anything else he had done?
I don't know.
Because it was a bigger project, maybe?
I mean, I think it was just
bigger hits?
I think he was just trying to do something different. I think he was a bigger artist at that point. You know?
Maybe.
But let's stay on Barter 6. I think I was a little bit not concerned, but I was like, how is this gonna age? Because he says some crazy stuff. Like, especially early Young Thug has always said like crazy, insane shit. You know what I mean?
But nothing that would edge on like problematic.
Like, he's just hiding crack in his butt and shit like that.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean,
I'm a crack addict.
I think it was more strange than bad. I mean, if you're talking about people that have said bad stuff, Tyler the Creator is number one.
Yeah.
Type shit.
When it comes to saying things that are literally like almost evil. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas Young Thug is just saying like, it's just like weird, like, yo.
Yeah.
You good, bro?
And I say all that to also say I think I didn't have any problem with anything that was said on the album when revisiting. It's almost part of the novelty and part of like what makes him special. And like you said at first, like it's the flows. He introduced so many new flows to the game. You know what I'm saying? He literally changed the whole course of where it's going. And I don't know if hip hop is becoming the most popular genre in the world at any point in its lifetime without this album.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and you got to put more respect on hip hop's name after this.
Yeah.
Like what he's using his voice as an instrument.
Yeah.
It's like part of the production and shit like that. I don't know. I feel like you can't. This showed people where rap could go, a lot. You know what I mean? It really did push it forward many years.
What do you think this did for his legacy?
I think it cemented him as, at that point, one of the most prominent rappers out at the moment in time. I think it made him a confirmed Atlanta legend. Yeah.
And where do you think this falls in his discography?
I think it's his best project. And I wouldn't have said that before this week. I think that I've always really thought that it was top 2, 3. But I think that I was just like, it was jaded. It wasn't appreciating it. And then I sit down and I'm listening to this 3, 4, 5 times. And I'm like, there's no bad songs.
Yeah.
There's 0 skips on this album.
Yeah.
I say that with full confidence.
Jose, what do you think? Where does this rank in his discography for you?
I don't know if I put it number 1, but it's definitely top 3. I think when we went back and we were talking about his other projects, I was like, oh man, I miss Beautiful Thugger Girls.
Yeah.
I miss Jeffrey.
No.
I like So Much Fun a lot. I know that people probably wouldn't put it in his top 5, but I probably would just for me, just from like listening to it all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I'm putting Barter 6 top 3.
And now actually so now I want to ask you guys a question too. This feels like it was in terms of his legacy, this was like the end of an era almost.
I don't know if it feels that way. It definitely feels super different than everything prior, but it's like we got Slime Season 3 and Slime Season 4 after this, which feel kind of like the pre-era.
But they felt like different. I do feel you. I do feel you because you know what I'm saying, right?
I do.
Jeffrey was probably the switch.
Yeah.
Jeffrey was the switch.
I think Barter 6 was a stylistic change. Like if you look at the art and the way he's marketing himself, that was definitely a change.
I think that Barter 6 was the peak of the first era of Young Thug.
yeah.
Like that first part of it. I think everything that he did at the beginning of a career in culmination ended up as Barter 6. And then I think that, everything restarted again at Jeffrey and he fucking went crazy again.
Yeah, and just reinvented it.
Yeah.
On like a personal tip, like what does this album mean to you guys? Where were you guys when it came out? How did it change your relationship with hip hop?
I mean, I don't know. I was at the end of my senior year of high school, going into college. Like I said, it was just a weird time for me. I think it's a weird period of transition for everybody. But I think I appreciated the album more when I was in college in my freshman year because it was like the soundtrack to meeting new people, starting over, being in like a weird kind of like wild place where I felt like very different, you know? And then also just like the party scene was just crazy playing this project, you know? And like I said, Check was everywhere. Check was like the theme song of freshman year.
That's so hard.
I think that like obviously the other songs had their moment, but like Check was something you would hear outside the most.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It feels very triumphant, especially going back to listen to it. And I'm just glad I'm in a better place now. Like thinking about all the stuff I went through, like I'm like, damn, like this was a good time, but like I'm glad I'm in a better place now, you know?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think more so what it did for me my freshman year of college, years after release. Because when it first came out, like I'm 15 years old. I ain't got no car. Like I ain't doing nothing. I ain't going nowhere for real.
Yeah.
So like I think I knew Check, and I knew of Young Thug when like it first came out, and like I just wasn't like really tapped into him like that. Like that wasn't really my cup of tea. And then you get a little bit older, you know what I mean? As I went through high school, I like heard a little bit more of it, but I wasn't really a fan until probably going into my freshman year of college. And like I gained an appreciation for everyone coming out of Atlanta, Future, Young Thug, because you know how big of a fan I am now.
Yeah.
I wasn't like that before. I was really lyrical. Like Kanye was like my favorite, but like, I'm listening to like Drake, Cole, obviously all that shit. But like I wasn't on this kind of mumble rap shit. And then I listened to this album and it was part of changing my entire perspective on music.
Yeah.
Like it opened my eyes to what I said, what rap could be. And it's like, it doesn't, even if they're not talking about some of the most uplifting shit all the time, this could still be incredible lyricism.
Yeah.
These are the wildest flows I've ever seen in my life. And the production on this is some of the best trap production ever.
Yeah.
Like it was versatile too. Like nothing really sounded the same. It never got repetitive. It never really dragged for me. So I mean, I'm going into my like freshman year of college, and this is like what I'm bumping in my headphones, like walking to class, driving around as I'm about to leave like town, bro. Like I don't know. This was a very empowering album for me. It gave me a lot of confidence.
Totally. On the production tip, I didn't realize that this thing was solely produced, aside from Halftime, by Wheezy and London on the Track.
Yeah.
They're the only two people. I guess Ricky Rax is like also on one of the other songs with Wheezy. But besides those two little placements, it's all Wheezy and London on the Track. So learning that when I went back kind of cemented them about music, because like you said, I was 15. 5 months after this came out, I got my driver's license, so I was driving around listening to shit in my car, but I was listening to backpack rap before that. You know what I mean? I like bars. I was still listening to a lot of like classic rock and like rock stuff and indie stuff, but then this came out and some kids put me on, and it changed the whole conversation with music, because now I'm listening to what my friends are listening to. You know what I mean? I'm at high school for the first time in my life, and we're talking about music. Study hall lunch, we're like playing each other's shit. And this turned into Lil Uzi Vert and Future and Playboi Carti. And the music that
We didn't even talk about that, how social media was changing at that period of time too.
Yeah,
true.
Do you think about it? That was like what Vine was strong.
Yeah.
There was also like Yik Yak and different shit like that. Like there was just like mad shit going on where like short form content and little bursts of like energy were becoming like the thing that people were gravitating towards.
And this was when the Flex music video was still hard. You know what I mean? Because we've seen it a million times when niggas got their homies and shit and da 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 da. If you go look at the Check music video, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like that nigga, first of all, that nigga was on the most amount of drugs I think he's ever
Is that when
been
he's like
in his
pissing
career,
on the
bro.
money
Yeah,
in
I
the
think so.
hood and they got the big heads?
No, that's with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That is the go back to your block and like I'm him type shit, bro.
Yeah.
And the big head shit just made it hilarious. And then there's one other one. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. Just this album is so special to me too. I love it, bro. I love it.
A couple quick hitters. What's like the objective best song on this album?
Wow. The objective best song on this album is either, the only two right answers are Check or Halftime. And I would probably have to, I think you have to say Check.
Yeah.
I think you have to say Check, but Halftime gives it a run for its money. A very legitimate run for its money. I'd probably like Halftime more.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably just have to say Check.
Check seems like the right answer. But what's your favorite song?
So I'm upset because I feel like you guys could guess what my favorite song is.
Is it Amazing?
And that makes me insecure. I really
No,
like Amazing.
I was gonna say I like
really
Amazing too.
What do you think it is?
I just have heard you play Halftime so many times. I've heard like for the entirety that I've known you, you play Halftime. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it's that.
Halftime is my shit. My favorite song on this is probably either Amazing or Halftime. Those are my two. Oh, but then like wait. But
I've always really
numbers.
liked Constantly Hating.
I'm glad you said that because I didn't like Constantly Hating
Yeah.
until I heard the Lauryn Hill remix that I be playing from SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And now I go back and I like the song more.
Wait, what
Yeah.
is that?
So there's a Lauryn Hill. What song is it? That Thing. There's the That Thing beat with Constantly Hating over it.
Oh wow!
And it is. I'll play it after this. It's fucking crazy. Jose
It's fire.
is wild. Like
I want to hear it now.
It's crazy. I can't play it. Do you have it?
Just send it to me.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Black Mass OG.
I'm a beast, I'm a beast, I'm a monster. You got video, bet you'll be my sponsor. Them snakes on the plane, me and Kanye Conda. That might be same up here, let my partner smoke. Check it.
Super tough.
Crazy shit.
I feel like mixes like that make you appreciate his voice more.
Yeah.
You know, they make you appreciate how versatile it is. Because I think sometimes when you, like, not saying that he's not great over trap beats, but sometimes when you hear Young Thug over like, I don't know, more of like a dance beat or like a pop beat, you're like, yo, how is he bodying this?
And that's
Yeah.
why I love Amazing so much. And there's even moments on this where like you see him kind of slowly becoming what he ended up evolving into. You know what I mean? Where he'll get a little bit outside of trap. This is like, oh, this is abnormal for someone to try to go over this beat. You know,
Yeah.
I think this is still very in that trap pocket. But I mean, Amazing is different. Amazing is different.
Did you say Amazing was your favorite too?
I would say Amazing, or I'll go back to Check too. It's one of the two.
Yeah. Amazing was a moment that didn't initially grab me, and I didn't even really play it up until recently, but revisiting, I was like, wow, this kind of sounds like where he went.
Yeah.
Like this seems like the first
Yeah.
glimpse at the genre blending, you know, the super creative, the singing, the vocal control. I was like, this is kind of, you know, like a prophecy of like where
What he
Thug was
evolves
going.
into,
Yeah. What about you? What was something that you didn't appreciate initially but went back to?
Constantly hating.
Oh yeah.
Because of that remix right there.
Iconic cover too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
legacy wise, we didn't even talk about the fact like he was always very vocal. You know how like Anthony Edwards is always like, oh my God, KD's my favorite basketball player.
Yeah.
Like Thug was always like, Wayne is my favorite rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to be like him, all that shit. You know what I mean? And then all the stuff obviously happens. They have their falling out. They have their issues. But like,
I mean, I think it was just really the way he went about it though.
yeah, it's hard, bro. It's like, yo, I'm gonna talk my shit and I'm on par with you, nigga. Like, I don't know. I think you put yourself, when you start to do things like that, like put yourself in the same conversation as GOATs. Like, I respect that a lot. And I think he really did that with just the title of this.
What I was saying is I could kind of understand why there was beef, because I feel like the way he did it, he was saying, oh, you're my favorite rapper, and then he did the album cover. But I feel like there was no previous relationship to be doing all that. And that's why
There
beef.
was because Birdman was mentoring both of them. Young Thug obviously was falling out with Birdman at the time, but there was a time in 2014 where they were both together at All-Star Game weekend. There was a lot of photos from the studio of them recording music together, and they have one song together that was released under Rich Gang. So they were a little group for a little bit. It seemed like dad and his two sons, you know what I'm saying, rolling around.
I feel you, but I just feel like when the album cover dropped, people were like, oh, he's dissing Wayne.
Well, I think what happened was Wayne sued him because it was supposed to be called the Carter Six. Because Thug had come out and said because Wayne at the time said Carter 5 was coming out in 2014.
Yeah.
And that's my last album ever. That's what he had said. So Thug said, that's my GOAT. I'm going to do 6 through 10 for him. Wayne did 1 through 5. I'm doing 6 through 10. And then you didn't really hear anything about it. But then Thug comes out and says he was getting sued for calling it the Carter 6. And there was all this bullshit. And, you know, he's big blood anyway. So it's Barter 6 now. Fuck
So
it, you know.
hard. I don't know. That just, to me, that adds so much more mystique to the story. Like, I love
Yeah.
it. That's the most Young Thug shit ever. Like, yo, because he came in the industry guns blazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the stories about Young Thug are early on. Because what I think people have gotten acclimated to with like the So Much Fun stuff and all that is like kind of nice guy, fun, happy-go-lucky Young Thug. Like, you know, God willing, you know what I mean? Everything goes cool. He gets out. But like, this nigga was not to be played with early on.
Yeah.
He was a scary individual. He's called Young Thug for a reason.
Yeah. Something I think is cool about the story, because we kind of noted that it was like an aesthetic shift for him. And I think a big part of that is thanks to Sandy Kim, who's a really famous hip hop photographer. Most iconic album covers ever.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize that he's naked on the cover. But have you ever seen any of the outtakes from that shoot?
I mean, I kind of always knew.
Like,
feel
look,
like
I think
looks
you
like
can
it.
definitely see that he's naked.
Yeah, he looks naked, bro. He looks like he's pissing, bro.
It's crazy.
He definitely looks naked.
iconic cover.
Yes, definitely.
That woman is batshit crazy for that.
Hey, she got it done.
She got it done. She's a legend. Y'all should follow her on Instagram. She continues to do really groundbreaking work.